Starting.
About because we're gonna go.
We're going
we're gonna
now.
just start.
It's kind of tucked into the tree canopy and it's not really usable as open field space. We just thought the location was good and it's tucked away. 8th North, we don't really have much for parking. It's a real busy, kind of dangerous intersection. We'd have to be working out a deal with Harmon's for parking, and we do have some of our transient brothers that camp all along that area, and I'm afraid it would just be like free produce and people would maybe feel a little reluctant to go in there and hang out if we had campers. So we're just trying to find a better location. This is kind of an area that we've started tiptoeing down and kind of got some buy-in with community action. I think Carson's planning on having a representative from community action actually join us tonight. So cool.
Awesome.
If you guys have any questions about that process and how it works, hopefully we'll get some answers for you. Hopefully Bob comes. He's been a real
Advocate.
for this and has a lot of interest in it as well. So we'll see.
All right. Well, welcome today to the meeting. Welcome, Sean. Have you been a member for a while? I'm not aware.
Like 8 years.
Okay.
He's one of the long ones.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
I took a small hiatus, but
Welcome back, Sean. Okay. Let's do approved minutes for February 26th. Everybody in agreement of those minutes? Aye.
Or, to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right. On to community garden update. I know we're waiting for people and we're kind of chatting about that now, so I don't know if we want to skip it for now and go to Oremfest Parade.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, cool. What do we need to know?
You can't throw candy. We prefer you
We can't throw candy?
walk alongside
Well, you
and kind
can-
of
you
tossed
can-
it gently.
Oh.
We've had
Toss it.
issues
You
with
can
kids.
give
no
We
no
can't.
overhand. Underhand, yes. Overhand, no.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
I went to the
Unless you're a
parade last
softball
year,
pitcher.
and some of those football players,
I'm a catcher.
they were winging it.
We had a woman get cut in the forehead from a water bottle getting thrown at her. We've just got to be a little more mindful of what we're throwing
Got it.
and kind of walk the perimeter and hand it out. I think they're even looking at adding some fencing this year to try and combat the issue of kids flooding into the streets.
Okay.
We know that
Yeah,
other
that's
cities have had
That was
issues
a
with
little overwhelming last year.
kids getting ran over, and we just don't ever want to have that happen. So
Yeah.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Last year, before the parade, I remember we had a meeting over at the senior center where they talked about the parade and safety things. Are they going to do another one of those? Do you know, or are we just going to assume that everyone remembers from last year and we're just going to?
I don't know. I would imagine there's going to be another pre-meeting to make sure.
It was a few weeks
squares up
before the
all
parade.
rules. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember them even kind of being very stern, like if you don't follow, you won't be invited back next year. I don't know if they'll stick to that or not, but yeah, I imagine we're going to have something similar. Because I don't think we had fencing last year, and we're going to have fences this year all along the parade route. And well, I wouldn't say
Hopefully.
all along. In
Yeah.
certain hazardous areas like
the
The
where
last
highest
like
density.
quarter of this parade where it gets
Yeah.
really nasty, that's like really
right there on
needed.
Center Street, I know they're going to have it. There's a number of places, so I'm sure there's going to be a meeting to make everyone aware of the new changes in the fencing and
What's the date on that one?
the parade.
The second Saturday in June.
June 8th. I'm actually not going to be available this time.
Oh, it's the 8th.
Ah,
Yeah, June 8th, I think.
Oh, okay. So it's not.
June 8th.
I thought it was like the 15th, the 8th.
Yeah, June 8th. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I might also be gone.
Still be in Mexico.
We have Ward Youth Camp that day.
Historically,
Maybe I'll
we
be
haven't
able to
had
leave
everyone
early.
on board. It's typically what,
A couple.
3-5-ish of us.
Hello.
It's varied over the years. There's been times where it's only been a couple, but then we've had a lot of like I'll bring children or family members to help.
Oh yeah.
So it kind of depends on how many people we can get to come from the commission.
Yeah.
Hi. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Glad you could make it.
So sorry.
No stress,
I've got
no worries.
contractors at my house and you
We
don't
just
watch
kind
them
of
every
hopped over
second.
a few
Oh,
items on the
yeah.
agenda.
They
and
started to
gone,
put this
so you
darn
haven't held us
round
up at all.
cement on. I'm going,
Did you win?
no, yes.
Good job.
Carson, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you. Carson and I are in the same ward.
Awesome.
Yep.
That's cool.
That's definitely.
But I think I knew him from the city first.
There you go.
Are you going to
Okay.
be here for the parade, Elaine?
I should be, yeah.
The 8th of June?
June 8th. We kind of skipped over community garden
Okay.
for a second. We were waiting
Okay.
for you guys. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
And we just kind of started into Oremfest. Do we want to finish that or head back
We can
to
jump
garden?
over to
We
that.
can
I'd
jump right
finish
back
it
over,
all.
and then you guys
Let's
don't
do
have
it.
to hang out any later than you need to if you
Okay.
want.
Whatever works
Carson,
for
you want to go ahead and introduce you're from
Yes.
Community Action,
I
right?
am,
Yeah,
yes.
I'll let you, this is
Yeah.
Hillary, I'll let her briefly introduce herself to y'all.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Hillary Whittaker. I work at Community Action Services and Food Bank. I'm the community garden manager and then manage another grant. So right now we have 3 gardens in Provo and then one that we opened last year in Spanish Fork. Our 4th garden in Provo was sold. So yeah, that's kind of the name of the game. We get land from the city, and then if the city ever sells it, then potentially we have to move.
Right.
But yeah, I think that this idea is more of a long-term plan, which I'm very, very excited about.
Cool.
So yeah.
Yeah, and the reason we want to, partner with Community Action on these types of projects are because they have the manpower and the experience to run and manage these community gardens, because we do want this to be a long-term successful project. We don't want to rush it either, because it can lead to other problems that we don't want. So it's a slow game for a long-term gain, essentially. Yeah, it looks like you have the map up, Tyler. So I brought Community Action. Hillary, like she said, manages these gardens. She has some new. How many? 4?
I have 4 AmeriCorps. So it's our first year having AmeriCorps volunteers, and if you don't know what they are, so they get a small amount of money plus scholarship money as well, and then they come and they volunteer in either the gardens or in the food banks or in our financial learning center. So it helps a lot of these people who are either in school or something like that, or just like we have some like stay-at-home moms and who are just looking for something extra to do. And so now I have 4 on my team as of right now, with the potential for a lot more. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's nice to have that manpower and just the backing of a nonprofit organization to run it.
Mm-hmm.
And so they came to the site. They've seen several options. This is one of the best options we've come up with so far, I'd say, right, Tyler? That
Where
would-
is the cross street? What is?
That's Westmore Park.
It's just before 1200 South on Main
Oh,
Street.
okay.
Yeah. This location's a good location because, number one, it's in a target neighborhood,
Yeah.
like a CDBG target neighborhood.
I know where that is.
So funding for those types of projects is available down the road if needed. The other benefit is that not only does it serve that target community that would be interested in community gardens and having that extra space to garden, it's also in a protected area compared to some other sites that are on busy roads that could pose some potential risk with people bringing their families parking and crossing dangerous roads.
Yeah, first thing I noticed about this one was the parking.
Mm-hmm.
We've got parking already,
Yeah.
so that's awesome.
And the infrastructure is already there too.
Right.
The water lines, everything's there that we would need, which reduces the cost of a project like this.
And adding in a community garden to an already green space is such a big way to enhance the area, because then you have families who are able to go and garden there and have a safe place for their kids to go play at the playground. And with Westmore Elementary School being a Title I school as well, that gives so many more people the opportunity to be able to grow their own nutritious food.
So the next steps, because we want to make sure this is successful and we're not jumping in to unknown waters, would be to gauge this community, because it was surprising. We did survey some other communities last year, and just because they are a neighborhood that could benefit from something like this, or an area that could benefit from something like this, does not mean they want it.
Right.
So we want to make sure there's buy-in from the community members surrounding this area, to make sure there's support for it. There was another neighborhood that is also a target neighborhood that we surveyed last year that was extremely opposed to a community garden. So we have to make sure we're communicating effectively with these residents and gauging their opinions on, one, do you want to volunteer in this garden if we do put one here? Because you do need that for it to be successful. Number two, would you use a plot? And then we asked them other questions about putting in service hours, about volunteering on being a neighborhood garden lead. And then if they want to do extra things like teach people how to extract the seeds to plant for the next season, or other little workshops, like if there's a salsa garden, we'll do a little class today on how to make salsa.
Yeah.
So, are there any questions?
How would you survey that particular part?
That's a good question. So I've already emailed the principal and assistant principal for Westmore Elementary to see if there's a way that we could get a survey out to students, because that's going to be a good, those are ideal families to have, because their kids are already in that elementary school. Again, it's a Title I school, so they're probably, everyone's living in this area. We have A-frames that we're going to print out, like a QR code that that was gonna be a question. Is there a place that we could chain the A-frame to, potentially?
Within the garden?
So it's not taken.
Like in the
Or like in
neighborhood?
the-
In the
Just
park.
in the park,
Or in the
just
park.
while
I
we're
would-
surveying?
I would say
Stick
you
it
need
right on
the
post
lights,
if you
or
want.
the
Okay.
lights.
Okay, cool. That was our question, because they're like, oh, we can put up an A-frame, but then we're like, how?
To make sure it doesn't go.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure that there are some lights within the park, so,
Okay.
yeah.
They're right
So there's
there.
lights.
Okay,
That's our
cool.
little sign
Okay.
post, and we're gonna rip that out and put a new sign
Oh,
in.
cool.
So go ahead and
Okay.
bolt it to that big if you
Yeah.
want. That would be fine.
Okay.
Is that the entrance then to the park?
Yeah.
Okay.
That and then the west.
Yeah, it's like a
More
wooden timber,
elementary.
it's just a
Yeah.
vertical.
So it is
with
very
the park
tucked
on
in
it,
and
you can
private.
attach
That's
it.
nice.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll be a good.
So
It would
they would
likely
help
be
protect
sitting
the
right there,
gardens.
Yeah,
Right.
and you would drive right
What's that?
The
into,
garden would be sitting right there. Or
Yeah,
Potentially,
so
yeah.
if we zoom back out
Would
of
it be to
this,
the right?
To the left.
Oh, to
that
the
was
left of it.
basically looking directly down this road, and that
Oh,
post,
okay.
I believe, was right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, so.
So we would essentially kind of be taking
Oh,
this
nice.
little
little
jut of
corner.
land that isn't really part of the open field playing space. We're just gonna turn this whole thing into a garden.
Nice.
This right
I love
here
that
is a
location.
water meter in a
Yeah,
vault
it's a good location.
that we'd like
Yeah.
to fix up and make better anyways, so we're gonna make some
Is it gonna
improvements
be
to the
fenced
water
or
feed.
more open?
I want it to be just like what we have at the IHC hospital.
Oh, nice.
That way it's not just open for random pets that,
Yep.
because people bring their pets and throw frisbees and balls. We want it to kind of be
Kids.
enclosed and make it
Yeah.
look really nice. That's another concern that I have is it is the main entrance to the park and people are gonna have to walk through this to get to the playground and the pavilion there. So it's important to me that we make sure that we invest in this to make it really nice. So it doesn't just turn into
Yep.
a forgotten
Yep.
weedy tomato patch that
Yep.
looks terrible at the beginning of our entrance, right?
Yes.
That, and our main goal is to have multiple throughout the city, so
Yep.
we gotta
Yeah.
make this one.
Yeah, we want to make it look really, really good, right?
Mhm.
And I was explaining that there's a big difference between like my Provo gardens that were established long before I came here, and so now my job is to fix them, right? Versus Spanish Fork, which is a brand new garden, but also that was fundraised. So that's, you know, no money from the city or anything, just the land. And so with this being a bigger project, right, it would be a lot of brainstorming and figuring out what type of, you know, because we talked about not having wood chips, but having like pea gravel. So something like that, you know, I'm fine with whatever. So
I'd maybe err towards wood chips, but
The
what do you
IHC one has
prefer?
pea gravel.
Is it pea gravel?
I do wood chips, but
Wood chips are easier to spread and they're less likely to get thrown around
They-
in the grass
they
with kids
are.
and stuff.
They are, and because this is also the city's involved, it's a spot that when the city is cleaning up trees, they could drop off wood chips there that could
Yeah.
be spread, which is nice. So it's, yeah,
Pea
there's,
gravel looks nice, but it is kind of a maintenance issue.
It does, yes.
Pea gravel's a little easier
yep,
to
it
maintain.
spreads. So if you wanted to create like some sort of edging, right, you could contain the pea gravel, but you might need to bring it down a little bit or
Yeah.
build up something. But the wood chips are nice because then it does go back into the ground, which is important too. So
And depending on the type of wood chips, it's also kind of a natural weed deterrent
Yes,
as
it
well,
is.
right?
Yes, it
Where
is,
pea
yep.
gravel, you're spraying them all the time with
Yeah.
chemicals.
yeah, and so that is a difference too. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
easier to weed with the wood chips, and it does give it that natural look, but it's also not as clean looking as pea gravel. So.
Yeah.
Are we looking to start it hopefully this year, like to kick it off, or is it still?
Well,
need
it
some-
depends on the,
I don't know if you could have it ready to plant. I mean, you're supposed
No,
to
but
plant
like
right
to
now.
get it.
But potentially to build, so that's like what we did with Spanish Fork, right? Is we talked about it in the summer. We laid out all of the fence line. We built the boxes, and then we opened it the following April.
I think that would be cool.
So-
Yeah.
Do that.
I think pending community support and fundraising, maybe we plan to build it in the fall.
Yeah, and then
And
have
have
it
it
launch
ready
in the
for spring
spring.
planting.
That would be wicked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's-
way past our schedule. I mean, not past,
Well,
what's not past
Our
our schedule.
goals.
Our goal was just to
Get
have a
one.
location
Oh.
Yeah.
by
So-
the end of this year.
Okay.
So like
You're
we're
an overachiever. That's-
Well, then what are we talking about this for? We're done.
Let's go.
See you next year.
All right, so what do you need from us to, do you
Capture
need
what-
our help with canvassing this area? Like what is our role in this?
So if there is a way to send out like an email to people, that would also be helpful.
Yeah, we can
obviously-
do that from the city
We
side.
can do
Yeah.
that through our utility billing
Okay.
platform. There's a number of options we have there.
Perfect.
The
I-
biggest thing from you guys that we would need support on is probably going to be the communication with the community about what a community garden is, because people have varying ideas of what that means.
Yeah.
So communicating to these, not only these residents, but all residents about what community gardens are and, you know, what the advantages of them are and so on.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is going to be the fundraising portion of it.
Okay.
I just got an email today from Heather. We applied for a grant through the Sorensen Foundation, which we did not get.
Shoot.
And so a lot of these projects have been
Yeah.
successful through actual community like these people coming together to fundraise and build the garden together.
Do we have an idea of how much that, like, something like this is going to cost? Like what we're looking at as far as what we need?
So, so the Spanish Fork Garden, which is 35 feet by 235 feet, that one was about $10,000 to build, and that was, we have 54 garden beds in there, and
Was
so.
the infrastructure already there? Like the water?
No, so
Okay.
we had to like put in the irrigation, like the water spigots. We had to do all of that part, and so taking out that part could make it less. There's also different things that can make it
More or less.
more or less expensive.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so as far as when we get the funds, does that just go to the city and the city takes care of doing it, or is it like people volunteer to build it, or how does that?
Or does that come with community action? So you handle that.
So either or. So
Okay.
so this will be a new project where we are kind of all working together, and so my team can take on really whatever, but it just kind of depends on
I mean,
It's going to be a hybrid approach because the city obviously can help on certain aspects of the project, like our parks team. I know Jim already wants to be involved in like putting some benches around it. And then, so it's going to be a communal effort. We have Laura Bascom she's the volunteer manager.
Those Bascoms are everywhere.
Darn those Bascos.
She's related to you,
Who?
Laura?
I don't know.
You don't know?
She's awesome.
the thing I see is
Clever,
you're
if
in
you
Lowe's
can.
Yeah, I'm
backyard.
related.
Does Lowe's get involved in
See,
community projects?
They do. So the Spanish Fork at Lowe's, they donated to us. It's good to ask, like builders, Cook's Greenhouse, because Laughing Owl, which is in Spanish Fork, they donated plants.
And do we
So-
just like advertise there so you could even go to like small businesses,
Mhm.
large and okay, cool.
Yeah, and so
And we just advertise them.
we did we
As,
made
like,
like
not
a
very attractive
flyer,
ones,
like a
though.
banner type thing at the Spanish Fork Garden to thank our sponsors. We
Okay.
also had we have plaques that people are able to buy to sponsor a garden plot, and so those are, I think they were $250. And the plaque lasts until the box is done, which is, I don't know, 5-10 years. And so it's always going to be, remembering somebody's mom, or thanks Pizza
So a family
Hut.
can essentially sponsor a grow
Right,
box
yeah.
and donate.
Yeah, and then it also is advertising for people.
Right, tax
So-
write-offs.
Yep.
So that's
yeah,
1,000
they love
for
that.
Spanish Fork. That was strictly out of pocket. That doesn't include the actual cost of time materials donated.
No, so that's everything. That's
Cool.
that's time, materials, that was everything. So
Well,
So
Yeah.
what if we had some of these things, use the Just Serve to help with the building portion, because
Yeah.
they've got a good community. There's a few Rotary clubs we could take advantage of to do
Oh, yeah.
breakfasts
interested in
and
that.
things.
yeah, all of those are the exact people that we would look for, especially to help out as volunteer groups. You have every single board has a young men's, young women's. Those are two groups that would love to volunteer. So putting it on Just Serve, having maybe, I don't know, maybe even Westmore Elementary, their 6th graders will have a volunteer day. So getting more people involved from all types of life is perfect.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's more advantageous because the more hands on it, the more ownership there
Yes.
is. So people long term are going to want to go visit that area that they worked on. They're going to want it to be weeded. They're going to want it to look nice because they were a part of it.
Yeah.
So it's just going to
Sounds
take it's so easy to talk about, but it's a lot of work, as you can
So
imagine.
the goal is to find a spot.
Found it.
What if
Check.
we, over the summer then, just start picking things to do and get it funded by the end of September or something, and start building it in August, September?
Who would make the plan, so we know exactly what we'll need?
Our engineering team.
Okay,
Our
so
engineer team
as soon as we can
and
get
myself.
that, then we can, as a commission, we can look at what we need as far, so let's estimate $10,000.
It'll be more than that.
But, okay, let's just say that's the number.
If we want it to be like
Okay,
inter-mountain.
just for an example, let's say we say 10,000, and obviously, probably we'll have to have the city do the foundation work and the border and all that stuff, the fence, and then we can assign different people in the commission to either be in charge of fundraising or
Right.
requesting donations from, like you said, Lowe's. We can go out in the community and see if we can do that, and then pull all that together, because we probably, if it's gonna cost 10,000, if we get a lot of donations, we might cut a lot of that cost
Yep.
off.
Yeah.
And then if we have a lot of people that we can get to help build a lot of that, then that is gonna cut off a lot of the manpower.
Yep.
So I think that's what we could do as a commission, is all that behind the scenes work after we get like a layout of what we
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah.
And then, so once we get that like design and the cost of what it would be, then we can just go from our group and just kind of discuss it over the next few meetings. And
Cool.
I don't know, what do you guys think?
But the next step will be gauging the community first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
you take care of that.
preliminarily, I guess you guys have selected the site pending.
Right.
So
Feedback.
Okay.
what would be,
Should we still make
you
it
said
secret?
some communities don't want it. What are some of the reasons why?
I was actually curious about that because I didn't put out that survey. Orem City did, and I'm so curious to find out why they did not want it. And my guess is maybe they don't understand what a community garden is, but maybe
Yeah.
not.
The biggest theme, there were several themes I would say that came from the negative feedback, which was it's just going to grow into a weedy mess and look worse than it was before. The others have been, it's going to attract homelessness
Oh my gosh.
or homeless populations to come steal the
The produce.
produce. What was the others?
That's
Some of the
sort
others had to do with this will attract more high density housing.
Because we have a garden in the park? Wow.
Hopefully people won't
Just
have that
telling you what they
issue
said.
like here because
We
there's
lost that
no,
battle.
I
there's
think
no
this would
place
be-
to build.
Yeah, I think this would be a good spot because I'm sure this area of the city doesn't have homeless people wandering through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just my guess.
I think
Right.
you're
We
right.
might not have
So-
those same issues right here.
Yeah, at this location, yeah.
Where was the other location that they?
8th North and 8th East.
That corner?
Well, that one was supported. That one was actually,
That one was supported?
yes.
Yeah.
That's the
I think that was
dangerous
because
one
it was
though.
an empty lot that they didn't like having an empty lot, so they'd rather have something there than.
Yeah, because it's I live by that lot.
Yeah.
And I'd rather see something
And a lot of
like a
people-
garden than
The
an
one that was
empty.
unsupported was
right?
that one over by
By
Sierra.
Sierra.
But I get that it's not safe.
And I think
Really?
they were drawing on experience from one in the past that turned into a flop.
Oh.
So there's some out there that have experienced
They have a bad
this
taste.
process before,
Yeah.
and it didn't go very well.
Well, could
So-
we get feedback in the next 30 days before we meet again?
Yes.
From
Yeah.
school and
Yep.
others?
Cool. All right.
Because
awesome.
the ideal is sending home little flyers with the students to take home to their parents.
Yeah.
Awesome.
How much was IHC's?
Thanks, guys.
Oh, they didn't tell us.
Oh, yeah, I don't, they never told us what their price was, but it was probably on the.
Have you been
high-
there?
It's
I have.
nice.
It looks
It's
amazing.
really,
Yeah.
really
Right.
nice. Yeah.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
the fact that you did that. What was it? 200 by 3 or 35 for 10 grand is incredible too.
Thank you.
So I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, I
That's
see what it's
something
beautiful
that-
for sure.
The city might look into, like with their videos that they post like on Facebook, that maybe going to the Spanish Fork community garden and saying, hey, this is what we're looking into, and
Mhm.
this is what,
Yeah.
Gives you an idea.
so that residents can kind of see, oh, this is what they did down in Spanish Fork. Now I can kind of have
Right.
something in my, because
Yeah.
when you first say community farm to me, I think of the farm that my parents grew, and it's not boxes, it's
Right.
rows
Right.
that you had to
Yeah.
get down and
Yep.
weed, and you just did not have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
And those surveys
Yeah, I
we
think
sent
you're
out,
right, too.
those surveys included pictures of,
Okay.
I think, both Spanish Forks and or community hospitals boxes, just so they could visualize what a community garden was.
Yeah.
Hopefully this community wants it more. This
So-
area.
Community Action's gonna own it, and we're gonna help out with logistics and communication and community education.
Yeah.
And the fundraising
Yeah.
would be a good
Fundraising.
one.
Okay.
And maybe partnering, you could use the Orem Community Foundation as where they can put their money.
Mm-hmm.
And we can create an account for.
I know
Community
Orem
gardens.
Rotary would be interested.
Cool. Yeah, it's honestly a really good and important program. It's just hard to find funding for it, and I don't know why it's so hard, because it's like you want people to eat healthy, you want people to be able to have a skill, and be able to save money, because cost of food and produce is so expensive right now that people are able to save a lot of money. And so I think that a lot of times when you think of a community garden, people either we're all growing everything together and I'm not going to get what I actually want. And that's why we do the boxes. And in this one, it would be way better to only do boxes versus like some of the Provo ones that have boxes and rows, because we like to give people, some people really like growing straight in the ground.
Could the
And
school
so-
also have, you know, one of their classes somewhat associated where they would benefit from
Yeah,
leveraging their skills to help them out? I don't know. Creates a little bit more invested interest level.
yeah. They could have like an after-school program.
Yeah, maybe
a
if they
summer school.
get
The
involved
school
in
gets a box.
helping,
Yes.
we give the school a box where they can go out with the kids and teach
Yeah.
them to garden a little bit or
And
something.
Yeah.
the Orem, to get people interested in future boxes, the Orem Community Hospital has a box outside of the fence, like out front, and it's a tasting garden. So they'll plant like strawberries or
Yeah.
whatever, and people can just come pick them and eat
Cool.
them.
Mhm.
It gets them kind of intrigued in gardening, so.
I wonder if the school could help educate too. If we did like a school lemonade stand or whatever, and then also had like a little tent with like information of like, hey, here's what a community garden could look like.
Yeah,
All the money here is going to go towards that.
yeah, that would be a good idea.
Cool.
And there's, lots of fun, easy things that you could grow, like, along to make it tasting. And because it is going to be something that's long-term, you could also look at other things like raspberry, blackberry bushes, fruit trees, those type things, if potentially that's something that the city wants. Because that's something that, I don't know. Fruit's a hard one because, yeah,
Gotta spray it.
yeah.
That's great.
Requires a little more work.
It does.
All
What?
right.
Bugs in the fruit or beetles, that's just, or worms, that's just protein.
Right,
I
it's
mean,
just
that's not,
protein.
you just don't look at it as you're eating it.
Optimistic.
Okay, so
I
I
like
guess
the diversity of flavors.
we're at to the point where we'll just wait to hear.
Yeah, we just
Feedback?
wanted to, we're glad you
And then
guys
we'll go
are
from there?
okay with this site, so we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
move,
Yep,
we'll move
great.
forward with engaging the community
Awesome.
and report to you guys on what that looks like and maybe strategize with community action, because it's nice to have a nonprofit that can help with the
Absolutely.
fundraising portion, because it's easier for foundations and businesses to donate to a nonprofit versus the city.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we want, we can have a box that goes directly to the Orem food pantry too. So that's something that we have. So Spanish Fork, the food bank there is Tabitha's Way. So we have 4 boxes that go to Tabitha's Way because we don't want to step on anybody's toes. We're not trying to take food from people or anything. So if that's, something that Orem City wants, because I know there's a food bank at the Orem Senior Center, the Friendship Center. There's a little one that we bring stuff in. So if you wanted to, that's also good. And then it teaches people to like, hey, there's a local food bank. This food's going back in. People like helping with that stuff too.
Cool. Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
awesome. Any last
Appreciate it.
questions?
Nope, that's not. Everyone's good. No, we're good.
Okay.
Wait, Brent's
Are
not.
we going to get a project plan, like outline, or is that on us to produce?
Are you talking about what, like plotting it out?
No, like the execution plan. So that we have like a template to follow or
We'll make one from the city side.
Okay, cool. Can we include a social media plan for us to then fill in?
What do you mean by, do you guys have your own social media?
No,
Oh,
No,
we'll
we
just
do
follow
not.
anything we need to through Pete.
through Pete?
Yeah.
We'll
Okay.
take care of all that.
You'll provide content to Pete? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you guys. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, should we go back to Oremfest Parade?
Yes.
Oremfest?
What time is it at?
7 is when it starts,
Yeah.
which probably will be good.
Better earlier than later. What else do we need to discuss about that?
Typically Sean has been the one to come up with a vehicle. I know that Pam
I think
Ogden,
Pam-
I think, mentioned that she would have
She did.
access to a vehicle this
Yeah.
year. So we just kind of need to sort out who wants to take lead on that. If you're okay with Pam going that route, then
What is she gonna get, do you know?
you remember what she said?
It's another classic car.
Was it a classic Mustang?
Yeah.
It might have been a classic Mustang.
I mean, we could do multiple, we don't have to.
Yeah,
do
Well,
she
that's
might
what
do more than
we
one.
commented on, was more than just one vehicle, so.
So, yeah, I knew we were gonna talk about this, and I didn't wanna, like, talk to the guy until I knew what the plan was, but if you guys want me to reach out to him and ask if he can let us borrow one, then
Pam.
I'm not, I can't guarantee what he's gonna let us use, but
More is better than less.
he has a
Yeah, more
50 or 46 Chevy pickup truck, cherry red,
Cool.
and like a
Cute.
57 blue, that blue Porsche convertible.
That was nice.
So now we need a white one.
That's right.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you want me to, I can message him and ask him if those would be available and see what he says.
That'd be cool.
Awesome.
Anything else on this one?
Who can
Just-
support him too, because it'll be limited. I know I won't be able to attend. and
Do we
so-
have one more meeting prior to the parade?
Yes,
Okay,
parade,
so
but
we've
we-
got a little bit more time
in
to sort
May.
out who's going to be
Cool.
there and who we can count on.
Yeah, we need to get our application in, and then you need to request
Our spot.
us to be more towards the front.
Yeah, we want to be like right next to the Grand Marshal.
You,
Right after.
done real
We could have the
quick.
Grand, depending on who the Grand Marshal is, they can ride with us.
It wasn't too
If they're
bad
cool.
last time.
How was it last year? Not bad.
What are we, 20s?
No,
we
we
were-
were the top 15. I
Yeah.
think it
Wasn't
was.
bad.
Yeah, that's usually where
Yeah,
we have been, and we like to be just so we can.
Top 15 out of 16?
Just
Yeah.
so we can be
Out of
done
90
sooner.
something.
No, it was.
I
Well,
think it was
because
like 80.
a lot of the first part of the parade is city stuff anyway, so we figured it would
Being
Yeah.
there.
just be
It was
nice
okay.
to.
Cool.
We just got devoured as we made that corner, and then that swarming of people. I think I literally watched all of our candy just disappear instantly as we got swarmed.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah. Do we need more candy?
I think that what you did last time was enough. We just
I mean, we could always give out more. It's just
Yeah.
I don't know. What did we do? Like $200 worth, or was it
I
$300
can't
worth?
remember. I'll have to look at the records, but
Maybe
I
it was 300. I don't remember.
it wasn't bad.
Costco.
Okay.
You just have to balance it a little bit.
Yeah. I still have, and depending on who's going to be in the parade, I still have the large banner that's like 20 feet by like 3 feet that says, and you know, you put PVC through it, you walk with it. I should probably just bring it here and we could just store it here because I don't
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah, you don't
want to
need
leave
it
it in my
leave it
garage and
really
have it
stored
get
right
lost.
You're like, because I don't want it.
So depending on who's
Cool.
going to be in the parade and how many people we can bring with us will determine what we do in the parade. Do we have tentative idea of who's going to be coming? You said you'll be there. Will you be there? You don't know, Kirsten?
Yeah, I might. I have a youth conference that weekend, but I could always come back early
Was it the 8th?
to be there for it.
The
It's
8th.
Dave. I'll be out of
Could
touch.
you be back? Because that's a Saturday.
Yeah, but it's a 2-night Friday.
Okay.
Friday
Yeah, I don't have
or
any conflicts.
Thursday.
we're sleeping over Friday night into
Yeah.
Saturday, but I could talk about it with my
Yeah.
other council. See if I
Because
can leave early.
I mean, if
Your colleagues.
you don't want to have to worry about doing stuff, just showing up right when we're about to go on
Okay.
and start, then you don't have to worry about.
Yeah. Well, I know we're
Prep.
camping up at Reed Ranch. I'm not exactly sure
Where's
how
that?
far that is. I don't know. I don't know.
Never heard of that before.
It's supposed to be pretty dope.
Dope.
That's what the kids say, right?
No, I don't
they
think they
say,
say
uh,
dope.
They don't say dope
They
anymore?
don't say
I don't know what they say now.
They say
We got a
fire.
whole other
Like
layer.
fire?
It's fire.
It's fire.
And then
Rizzing.
It's lit. There's that past.
No.
Lit.
Someone's up there.
No, they don't say
Ah.
lit.
slaps.
Sick? They don't
Yeah,
say
slaps.
sick?
No.
Bussin'.
Sick is coming back a little bit.
Okay.
Bussin'.
Bussin', like-
But I think that
Bussin'.
refers to food.
They don't say like gnarly and cool and
No.
tubular and radical.
We don't
It's like-
live in California.
That's where I grew up.
Well, that's
There's a whole YouTube thing you can learn this whole new language.
Yes.
Yeah.
all right. I got a softball game to get to,
Okay.
guys. Let's
How you
keep
doing?
going.
So,
Good.
all right, so yeah, we'll get the application in and request. We'll have another meeting in May, the last
Then we
Saturday
can
in
get
May.
a good head count.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
Sweet. All right. Awards.
Got
Signs.
the signs.
They're here,
and-
guys.
yeah,
Cool.
And the letters are
don't
all.
forget your signs.
Yeah. And do you guys need me to resend out the links?
Please.
Please.
Okay.
That'd be
Is that like? Oh yeah.
The links to. submit
Where-
names and
submit it?
stuff. Yeah.
Makes it super easy.
And
doing
everybody
both?
knows their areas.
Could we?
The water and then
Yeah, on there it still has the option on whether, whether or not you want to recognize it as a wise water usage, and if you're gonna give them an award, and if,
It's all on that link.
yeah, it's all on
Cool.
that link, or if you want, because if you say, yeah, it's wise water usage, then the Natural Resources Commission also gets a notification, because you'll click a box.
Cool.
And you'll say either, yes, I gave them an award, or no, I didn't.
Cool. And remind me, we're passing one, how many out
2
per
a
month?
month.
2 months starting now, May.
May.
May,
Mhm.
cool.
I've already gotten a nomination that
Oh,
I
cool.
sent to Sean. So
coming out. Starting to
Yeah.
look pretty.
Sweet.
I'll let Pete know that to send out a thing on Facebook.
And I will now remember that special address you guys have had me now.
Is there any reminders about that process that we need to remind, like,
Um,
you need to get permission to take their
Right.
photo and take a photo?
yeah,
if you
there's
can,
a
'cause
whole
it goes
bunch
into
of
your
questions
report
on the.
presentation. and-
I think
On
they said that
submission.
all we
Right.
have to do now is get a verbal, because before we had to get it signed, and they're like, no, we
Yeah.
don't need to worry
Now
about
it's
that.
just you talk to them and you can click this button and say yes.
Yes.
They said that.
Yes, we can post this on Facebook. Yes, and if they say yes, so they can post it on Facebook, then I'm happy to send photos to Pete, and he will give them recognition
Cool.
on Facebook on the city page.
Is the Orem Forum page on Facebook a private page, or is it city-owned and managed?
I don't know. I don't know what that page
One
is.
of them has a blue check mark, and we're currently looking to, I think ours, the technical one is called City of Orem Government.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
it's got the blue
Orem
check.
Forum's got like 3 times as many people in it, though. Is it not?
I don't know.
I don't know what
A
that
couple of those
is.
groups have gained some pretty
It's got a
significant.
pretty big one.
Yeah, they're pretty large. The Orem Forum, I think, is basically become like town hall of Facebook. For
But
Orem,
it's
at least.
I don't believe
it's
that's
not
owned and
Orem
operated by
adjacent though. I
Orem
mean, it's
City.
adjacent, but it's not owned by Orem.
That's
I'm
my
assuming.
understanding.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not sure who owns it.
I don't know either.
Hmm.
Pete might know. I'm sure he keeps a pulse on some of that stuff.
It might be one of the.
With it so large,
Packs.
it'd be nice to be able to sneak stuff onto that.
I mean, we could reach out to Zuckerberg and ask him.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Well, almost being able to, if you're part of it, can't you just be like, hey, I am part of the, Beautification
Looks like
Commission.
you have-
Here's a link. Click on it to vote,
That's what I was thinking for the community
or
garden
not to
thing.
vote, but to and community garden. Yeah.
It's just
It's
posting
great.
that and be like, hey, since it seems to be Orem obsessed like we are, here's some information.
Cool. So you're gonna do that?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Any other questions about the awards and signs? Awesome. Any other business?
Our next meeting would be when?
Is there anyone else on the commission? I don't know.
There's Pam Ogden.
Okay, I don't know who she
And Bob.
is.
And Bob
and
McFadden.
Matt
Oh, so we have,
2 new ones other than us.
Yep.
Full corn.
there's 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
So,
Bob's a master gardener and Pam is a lifelong real estate agent.
Master gardener.
Master
Do you have to
gardener.
like bow when he
It's the
walks into the room?
27th.
He's a cool dude.
How do you get that title?
I don't.
It's
I
a-
think
Take
it's
a
in
course
Take,
through
like,
USU.
Okay.
yeah. So
If you ask him out, he's very passionate about
I
it.
was a landscaper for a master gardener. I got some pretty consistent direction on that.
Wow.
It's like, can I just do my
It's like
job,
I earned
please?
that title,
So
master.
for our next meeting, we would be meeting on the 20th because the last Monday of May is Memorial Day. And
Okay.
Okay.
we'll be meeting then, so
Good to know.
May 20th. And I think that's it.
All right, my people, we are
Okay.
adjourned.
Thank you.
You.
Don't forget your signs.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Oh,
I
sorry.
think there's some.
She wants to get out of here.
Is there a motion to adjourn? Is that what I'm supposed to say? Is there a motion
Yes,
to
and then
adjourn?
someone says, I motion we adjourn, and and then we second it, and then,
All right.
Okay.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
yes.
Yes.
Second? Cool.
Yeah.
We out.